Tits, it's the JoJo Show, wrapping things up with Wayne Thomas and Dan Schmidt there with Grand Rapids Ghost Hunters. If you're interested in using them for anything, it's grghosthunters@yahoo.com.
Yep.
If you feel like your area is haunted. And there's a couple news stories. I was telling Wayne of the Wealthy Street ghost that I went out and investigated, but I was very skeptical of the stories I was hearing surrounding that. That sounded like a lot of these stories sometimes sound like things teenagers make up, when they want to scare their friends. And then they get perpetuated.
A lot of urban legend.
Yeah, that kind of stuff. By the way, did you feel? I know you were talking about this building that we're in downtown, the Town Square Media building where we broadcast from, and how these guys came in and investigated and found some interesting stuff in this building. How about this studio here, Dan, that we're in, the WFGR studio?
No, I didn't feel anything in here.
You know why that is? Because I fart a lot in here, and that's even farts don't. Or ghosts don't like farts, right?
That'll clear the spirits.
Yeah, there was a smoky apparition. Now that you mention that,
exactly.
Yeah.
But there you go. So you investigated this whole building, and as I was telling you telling listeners earlier, there's a whole abandoned side of this building. Most of this building right now is currently under renovation, so there's not a whole lot going on in it. And you guys found some interesting stuff going on over there?
Yeah, in the beginning of our investigation, we were able to be on that abandoned side of the building, and yeah, we caught a couple of interesting things. Even a couple of nights before that, when we came in just to do the initial walkthrough, I had seen a shadow walk clear across the room. So we wanted to get back in there and set up equipment and actually be able to try to document that. So unfortunately, we didn't get anything on video to document that, but we did catch a voice while we were over there.
Okay, so this is just a silent moment. Were you going to say something, Wayne? I didn't mean to.
Well, just that at the same time that Dan saw the shadow, we had our EMF detectors lighting up. So we had kind of confirmation on that. There was something there.
Okay. So this is audio you took. This is just empty space audio.
Right.
But you detected a voice in there. Now, you claim you can hear what it says? Okay. I'm going to try and figure it out because I've heard this a couple times and I can't make it out. I do hear whispering, though. All right. That's tough to make out. I can hear it right in the middle there.
See, and I can hear it, and I don't even have headphones on, and I can hear it.
Can you?
Yeah.
I can't make it out. What is he saying?
What I hear is, I can hear you.
I can hear you. Okay. All right. So that is, again, an intelligent haunting.
Yeah, I would take that to be an intelligent
trying to communicate with you.
Yeah, and at that point, we were about 9 minutes into our recording, and I was asking questions and trying to establish communication. So I was asking, can you hear me? Do you see us here? Can you make a noise so that we can hear you? Those kind of questions. And then I got that.
And sometimes it's necessary to slow those EVPs down, and then you'll hear them more distinctly. I think this is one of those cases.
Yeah, I recorded that at full speed, and that is playing back at about 95% speed.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I could hear a voice, but I couldn't hear what it was saying. Yep. Now, you were talking about there are times when you're listening to audio over and over again where you're trying to make something out. You will actually hear things that might not be there. So you'll get a second opinion. You'll ask other people to listen to it.
Absolutely. It's very important to get as many ears on it as you can. Just like people that see Jesus in their toast.
Right.
It's called matrixing. Your brain is trying to make sense out of something that is hard to understand. You're just seeing something that's very random, but your brain wants to make sense of it. And this is the same thing with hearing things. When you're listening to digital audio for hours and hours, and there's a lot of that kind of audio where it's just static. You're just listening to dead space for hours at a time. Your brain is going to try to make sense of what it's hearing. So you're going to want to get as many ears on it as you can.
If you stare into the darkness long enough, you will see something.
No, and I know that. Camping late at night, I will see bears or there aren't bears.
That's right.
Yeah, absolutely. You had an interesting experience, too. As you were leaving the building, someone approached you and said they had seen some things?
Right. This is a real good story. This happened 16 years ago, and it's a full form apparition of a blue spirit. Now, colors are significant, and the color blue is associated with being protective and peaceful. So it was really nothing to be afraid of. And of course, if it was residual energy anyway, there's nothing there. It's not a spirit. It's hard to tell. Just like the apparition that we saw, the skinny black man in the basketball warm-up suit, it's really hard to say. He did not turn around and interact with us, so that kind of rules out an intelligent spirit. It looked like he was more just doing his random daily duties that he did for years, and he's still doing that same job today.
Well, that doesn't make me want, that makes me fear the afterlife now, because if all I'm going to do is keep coming to this job, I don't.
Yeah, and you're not going to get a check either. That's the bad part.
That sounds like hell, actually, is what that sounds like. That sounds like the poor guy is in hell. He's still working after all these years. Can't even get relief in the afterlife. Quickly, before you go, you also went across the street to the Ottawa Street parking garage.
That we did.
Okay, and that's a noted kind of creepy area.
Yeah, I guess there have been numerous documented cases of people committing suicide off of the top of that. Now, I know that recently in the last year or so, they've actually put up a new fence on the top of it that has a big hooked fence at the top so that people can't do that. But yes, there have been documented cases. So we went over there and we did a little bit of a recording and ran our equipment through there and definitely got some readings that are hard to explain. There's nothing electrical up on the top except for the lights, and for no other reason than maybe a spirit. We were getting readings on our equipment.
The magnetic fields are off the charts over there on top of that structure.
All right. And by the way, when they were putting that up, because that was a good idea, and then I thought, well, you could just go down to the next floor.
Oh yeah, if you want to jump off bad enough, you can crawl through that.
No, I feel
barrier.
like a creep for bringing it up.
Yeah, I made the same note when I was over there looking at it myself.
Well, thank you guys for coming in today. It's interesting that there's
thanks, JoJo. Always good to see you.
Stuff going on in this building. Have you investigated any? You guys investigate all over town. Are there any other things that you've discovered recently, or?
Yeah, we're on the middle of a case right now. We can't really divulge exactly where it's at. We're at a cemetery. Happens to be the same cemetery where my folks are buried. So far, we've had my dad's name come up, and my grandfather shared the same name, the ghost hunter, which is Clyde, which isn't one of your common names.
It's not common, no.
No, not at all.
No.
So I normally would tell people, if you want to see ghosts, go to a museum, but this place that we're at, this cemetery is definitely haunted. The buildings there are definitely haunted.
Yep, and we've also been, on some residential cases, and that's really what we do this for, is to help people that are dealing with things in their homes.
Right.
If they're afraid of something, if they're experiencing things that they don't understand what's going on, that's really why we get into it, and hopefully we've been able to help these families out.
And by the way, they have a list of things, and ghosts will not hurt you if you just are very adamant that they leave or ask them to leave. Tell
them they're bothering you, and for the most part, ghosts will not scare you. If they know that it's scaring you, they will leave you alone. However, whatever the person was as living person, they carry that personality with them. So if they're an angry old man as a living person, they're going to be a grumpy old ghost too. I want to point out that it's free of charge. So if you're a family in crisis, check us out on Facebook or give us a call at one of the numbers. JoJo will probably have it available, I'm thinking.
It's 616-951-5011. 616-951-5011.
Yeah, don't try to deal with it yourself. It's an unnatural phenomenon, and it needs professional guidance. So call us. grghosthunters@yahoo.com. Thanks for coming in this morning, guys.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Thanks, JoJo.